What is up, YouTube? I'm your friendly neighborhood Endman64, bringing you some more Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories as part of the Road to Kingdom Hearts 3. In the last episodes, we did a ton of Disney worlds. We did Agrabah, we did Traverse Town, we did a bunch of other things. Riku continues to be the Dark's little bitch, and it's our job to make him not be a bitch, so... You know what? Yeah, I'm willing to do that. Riku fought his dark replica that Vexen made, and while the fight was pretty rough, we did come out on top, but it's clear that we need a little bit more strength, so the next few worlds are going to definitely be helpful in boosting our strength. And since we have nowhere else to go but forward, we may as well proceed to the remaining 4 Disney worlds that we have. Atlantica, Olympus, Wonderland, and Halloween Town. Now, none of these worlds particularly matter when it comes to like deck preferences, because I think Halloween Town's deck is pretty good. They fixed Atlantica's deck in this game, so it's not as bad as it was in the Game Boy version. And Olympus's deck is pretty decent. Wonderland's is absolute garbage. But also, the Heartless you'll be fighting in Wonderland are the least, give off the least amount of experience. So I think it'd be best for us to get Wonderland over and done with first, and then we'll advance to the other worlds as we need to. Because there is pretty much going to be next to no story interactions between Riku and the rest of the story until after you've completed the Disney worlds. Events will be transpiring outside of Riku's perspective, so like you'll have scenes of like Vexen going to talk to the organization members upstairs, namely the ones we fought in Sora's story.
Take this.
And then you'll get some other stuff happening, but in general, the stuff is not going to be, you know, particularly that worrisome. Let's get that dark point. Let's get them dark points up. We really need to. And we also need to get his HP up, too, because... Especially with a deck this garbage in Wonderland, we're definitely going to need some... something to help us out. But no, there's not going to be much... aren't as many inter-stage boss fights with Riku as there were with Sora, especially in the second half, and gee, thanks for that.
Your Majesty!
Alright, Mickey, please, and of course. Don't you just love when the basic bitch enemies have cards that you can't beat? Alright, yeah, well, this is where Jafar's card comes in handy. This is probably the only time I will absolutely say you need Jafar's card. Because this deck is just garbage. Like, it's not even worth it to use slates in this deck. Because, like, all you have access to is the Dark Volley. Not Dark Volley, the, whatever the hell it's called, the Dark Break. It is just not worth it. It just is not worth it. But because there really isn't much stuff for me to really go over story-wise, because we've neared that point now where I'm pretty sure you guys know at this point where the story is going. Riku has to learn to either accept the darkness as it is, or fully wean himself from using it. The harder it gets, the deeper you go down. I might actually have to do Halloween Town earlier than I was planning, because, good lord, I need that Oogie Boogie card. That heals me. Who would have guessed duels are going to be like that essential? But no, because I don't have to, like talk too much about anything and do shenanigans like that. Instead, what I'm gonna do is now I can go and start answering some fan questions, because I keep getting them, and I'm very thankful for that. That people are like interested in things I have to say and the stuff that goes on my channel. I'm very thankful for that. Alright, there we go. This I need. I definitely need this. Come on, heal me, Mickey. There you go. Thank you, champ. But yes, I do appreciate the fact that I've gotten as many fans interested in asking me questions and things about, you know, shenanigans, and I'm happy to answer them. Now, some fans have been giving me their name, but because the name of the game is I Do the Anonymous, I am going to keep to my original plan and keep everyone's names anonymous, because that's just the way I roll. Alright, where is Jafar? There you are. Okay, so, question... Okay, buy Switch controller. Have fun on the floor, because I'm not picking you up. Question number 1 is, somebody recently uploaded a demo VHS copy of The Little Mermaid from 1990. Are you interested in looking at that video? Yes, I am, actually. I actually have watched it, and it's pretty damn cool. And I actually don't mind the ones that are made like that. Like, the first half of it is, more or less just repeating the stuff from the original home video release. But then it goes into detail about how big this movie was for Disney. And let's be real, Little Mermaid was absolutely huge for Disney. I would honestly say Little Mermaid was probably the biggest, most important movie Disney had put out since, what, Snow White? Because when you get down to brass tacks, they needed Snow White. I mean, they needed Little Mermaid to be big. Like, you may not need, like... Sometimes you can be like, oh, well, we didn't need it to be that big of a hit. Like Disney said when Nightmare Before Christmas first came out, oh, we don't need this to be as good as Aladdin was, or as big as Aladdin was, we just needed to make some money, and that's exactly what Nightmare Before Christmas did. It made money. And that's, again, exactly what they needed. Little Mermaid needed to be a big hit, because Disney animation was still, even in 1989, still not really viewed as that super be-all, end-all that it used to be. Remember, Roger Rabbit was not made directly by Disney. It was made by... it was made by Richard Williams, who had his own animation guys. And yes, Disney animators took part, but in general, it was more focused on people who worked at other studios, because nobody believed that Disney could produce anything that was genuinely worthwhile anymore. So, Little Mermaid needed to be a big hit, and it was a big hit. And it came off the heels of Oliver and Company, which was also a hit. But everyone was like, oh, there's no way Little Mermaid will outgross Oliver and Company. And as I think Ron Clements was the one who said it. Actually, no, I think it was John Musker who said it, where it was, if a film is made where it's good enough to appeal to all audiences, it'll be a big hit no matter what. And that's exactly what Little Mermaid did. And they mentioned that in the thing, because a lot of the other demo tapes I've seen are for films that were years old at that point. So like Jungle Book and 101 Dalmatians and stuff like that. I have not seen one for a more recent film, and it makes me wonder if there were demo VHSs with trailers like that for all of the older films, the newer films. I know there was one for Rescuers Down Under. I think I had that in the Classics Collection compilation I made. I put the file, uploaded Upload taken from YouTube from somebody. I don't remember. Future me can post something if he feels like it. If not, just know that I always think of you guys when I do that stuff. But I would imagine there has to be one for Beauty and the Beast or Aladdin. That seems like something that would make sense. But yes, I have seen the video. I actually love it. And I don't plan on using it in any videos that I'm making. But if you feel like doing it, by all means, you can. Just make sure you give credit to the guys who found the videos in the first place. Otherwise, there's just no point in doing anything. Yes, this is the one that sucks. I know it makes it look like you can go across like the last world did, but no, you can't. You have to go all the way up here and then fight your way all the way back up to exit. These two rooms here are completely pointless, so we're just gonna ignore them. Alright, anonymous question number 2. Let me see, we could probably use some levels. That's probably not a bad idea. You know what? Well, do I have any Martial Waking cards? Not a lot. Ooh, Roulette Room. Nope, I don't have that many of those either. I guess we'll have to go with a Teeming Darkness card then. Jafar's card it is, okay. So, anonymous question number 2. This one actually is prevalent to what is going on now. Because, well, it's the spooky time of year when this is being made. This anonymous question is, I know you mentioned you do a lot of Christmas specials that you watch. Do you watch any Halloween movies or specials? I will preface before I begin by saying it's not that I'm like averse to scary movies, but but my sister's a huge horror movie fan, but like, she likes those jump scare movies, and she thinks those are like the hottest shit that has ever been made, and I'm like, I get so bored in jump scare movies. I like genuinely scary movies though. Like The Exorcist is one of those ones where I'm like, that is one of the best horror movies I've ever seen. But I don't usually watch that stuff around Halloween because it's like, it doesn't really make sense to me. I like the fun parts of Halloween, the trick-or-treating, the evil, the witch stuff, and witches and witchcraft and wizardry and all that crap. That's the stuff I like to focus on when it's my time, when it's, what's it called? When it's Halloween. So before we got Disney Plus, I had a few videos that I did watch a lot around
Your Majesty!
around Halloween. Now the big one, of course, is Mickey's House of Villains, and I will occasionally like put in. Well, obviously, the big ones. I will start with the big ones. It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown is one of them. The Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown is obviously one of them. Mickey's House of Villains. Winnie the Pooh, Boo You 2, which is always a fun little joint to do.
Darkness!
And occasionally I'll splice those 3 in with a few other, like, movies that I don't generally watch that often. So, like, last year I did James and the Giant Peach a couple of times, along with The Black Cauldron. Monsters, Inc. is one that I like to put out at this time. One of the big ones, though, is Ichabod and Mr. Toad. Because, yeah, the whole Mr. Toad part has nothing to do with Halloween, but Sleepy Hollow, absolutely. I freaking love Sleepy Hollow. Disney Sleepy Hollow is one of my favorite things they've ever done. Because it's one of those very faithful adaptations. Like, you have so many times where Disney will adapt something and they'll make the big change, like Phoebus being a good guy in Hunchback of Notre Dame in comparison to the way he was in the book. And if you haven't read the book, Jesus, he is a friggin' monster in the books.
Like it.
In the book, sorry, not books. There was never a sequel to Victor King. But like occasionally I would splice in some stuff like that. A couple of like villain-heavy things, like I did Return of Jafar one year and stuff like that. But now that we have Disney Plus, I've been able to revisit some things that I haven't seen in a while because I don't watch TV. So like if you guys are sitting there going, well, have you seen this TV show or that TV show? More than likely the answer will be no, because I have TV, I just don't watch it. And when I watch TV, it's generally to put something on to fall asleep to. And that's only, again, if I don't like anything that's on YouTube right now, or if I'm too ensconced with it, if you will.
Your Majesty, come on!
But I have been able to get into some of the stuff I haven't seen in a long time, like the original Haunted Mansion movie with Eddie Murphy. I love that movie growing up. And is it a schlocky movie? It is an absolutely schlocky movie, but that's the point. I also watched, I haven't not seen it in a while, but I have also watched Pirates of the Caribbean, the original. I'm not a big fan of Hocus Pocus, I will tell you guys that. Nightmare Before Christmas is an interesting one because I will watch that year-round, but at the same time I will also... I am the first that will say, while I love the fact that it's Halloween and Christmas interacting, I think of it more as a Christmas movie than a Halloween movie, mainly because Halloween's basically over by the time the movie really gets into gear. But again, that's just a me thing. You do not have to agree with that. But one of the ones I've really been getting into recently was one of the movies I haven't seen in years, and that's the Halloween Town movies with Debbie Reynolds and make a long story short, it's about a family of witches that live in the human world, but their grandmother lives in the place called Halloween Town, where there's ghosts and goblins and all that jazz.
Like it.
Can I just at least heal myself? Please tell me I healed myself. Of course I didn't. Oh, whatever. Alright, Jafar.
Take this.
There we go. But I have not seen all of them. I had not seen all of them until I got Disney Plus. Like, I had seen the first one, and I love the first one. I saw most of the second one. I had never seen the third one, and the fourth one I saw and I didn't like. But nevertheless, I watched through all four of them, and the first one holds up really well. The second one is kind of mediocre. The third one is, like, really mediocre. And then the fourth one is just bad. A lot of, like, weird-ass stereotypes. And not like, oh, spooky stereotypes. No, like, the evil guy being, like, a super Asian stereotype is kind of messed up for, like, 2006 Disney Channel. Just saying. Just saying. I'm just saying. But beyond that, really, in general, Christmas is my jam. So if you want to ask me anything about Christmas, I'm more than willing to. I can supply you with dozens upon dozens upon dozens of things I watch around Christmas time. But Halloween's not my jam. My sister is the Halloween person in the family. We'll hold off on the Marshall Waking then. Hold off on those two, because we're a little low on them. So I guess we'll go with the Sleeping Darkness card. If I'm not mistaken, the scenery should change to the Rose Garden then, right? It does. Next up, next anonymous question. Ooh, okay, I can answer this one. It's a bit of a long story. It's a bit of a long one, but I will try to answer it to the best of my ability. question is related to Crimson Fury, and the question is... Hold on, let me increase the size of this thing for 1 second so I can actually read it. Hi, I'm a big fan of your Crimson Fury story, and I wanted to ask a question about... Oh, okay. I want to ask a question about the friendship between Michael Kingston and Cynthia. Okay. Alright. I will give you a very summarized version because I do plan to... I'm thinking about doing a very lengthy look at Michael Kingston's story in terms of writing. But I will... Many of you know the backstory of him already. It's basically written in the backstory of most of the Crimson Fury stories. Michael Kingston was a Pokemon trainer in the Arcana region. He was basically a prodigy. He was able to develop strong and powerful connections with his Pokemon. Discovered he had a gift with actually communicating with psychic Pokemon, which ended up making his friendship with his evolution all the stronger. But he was betrayed by a girl he had a crush on named Giselle, who kidnapped him, gave him to some mad scientists to experiment on, and they gave him something called the Crimson Fury, which, at the expense of his physical health, allows his Pokemon and himself to become stronger and more ruthless in battle. And several events occur, and Michael is framed for committing several atrocities while under the influence of this fury, and he's banished from his home. So, for 4 years, he wanders the world, and obviously he goes to some of the many regions and takes part in some events. I believe I had it written that he took part in the assault on protecting the radio tower in Johto from Team Rocket. He battled Hunter, the evil poacher, in Hoenn, but eventually his journey takes him to Sinnoh. Now, Cynthia is, according to Crimson Fury lore, she is 2 years younger than Michael, which means she is Christopher Kingston's age. His cousin, prodigal brother, best friend, yada yada yada. They meet when she is more or less, she's an inexperienced young trainer. She doesn't have any Pokemon on her. All she has is the egg that would inevitably contain the Garchomp that's terrorized many people who've played the Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum games. The two of them become very close friends. Michael escorts her to her grandmother's village from Jubilife City all the way to Celestic Town, and the two become very good friends. And obviously, Cynthia, being a little girl, isn't the world-weary Cynthia or the all-knowing Cynthia that is in both the books, both the games, the anime, and stuff like that. She develops a huge crush on him. And Michael is either not, like, receptive to it, or he's just like, yeah, I've got way too much baggage, you don't want to deal with me type thing. He tries to be, like, involved and tries to get involved because it's a big it's the holiday season. Like, that my world's equivalent to Christmas. And the two obviously become very close. Michael is the one who ended up buying her those black hairpins that she has in her outfit, which she's very thankful for. An event transpires where Michael learns of something that can help him with the Crimson Fury, and he believes it's on the Spear Pillar. So he and another adventurer named Gabriel start climbing Mount Coronet to try and, I think we're out of card space. I believe we are. I am, okay. Sorry. Getting back to where I was. An avalanche occurs. Michael and Cynthia survive the avalanche. The explorer, who ends up being the father of Dawn in the in my story, not the Dawn from like Diamond and Pearl or the anime. Michael naturally feels really guilty about it, blames himself, so he leaves Sinnoh. Cynthia tries to go with him, but he reminds her that Cynthia made a promise to him that she would protect Sinnoh the way he wants to protect himself. And the two part on very good terms. They promise to be friends. They promise that no matter what drives them apart, they will find their way back to each other. And now that seems like it's setting up a romantic subplot, but obviously, if you've read the Crimson Fury stories, it does not. As many know from the backstory, Michael ultimately makes it to the Ore region, where he where he gets into all these shenanigans and meets up with Celebi, finds a way to get rid of the Crimson Fury, or at least regulate it, and then he saves the region from Giselle. Now, something that I have not mentioned yet, or if I have, it was like buried in a exposition paragraph in the story. Julia Pines and Cynthia were roommates at Veilstone University in Sinnoh. So when Julia turns 18, she goes to Veilstone University, and Cynthia's already been enrolled as well, because as we know, she's a prodigy. But naturally, to complicate things, Cynthia has matured from a shy, inquisitive girl to she's becoming the Cynthia that everybody knows. And Michael and Chris both go with her to Sinnoh to help her move in. And Chris flirts with Cynthia and fails to woo her to do anything. But when she sees Michael, Julia starts to get the wait a minute type eyes, like, this gorgeous girl has eyes for my man. And that ultimately is what drives her into the arms of her own affair partner type deal with Peter. But Cynthia later tells her, Michael means the world to me, but not if it comes at the expense of our friendship, as she and Julia become friends. And eventually, Cynthia is more or less just recognized by the rest of the Kingston family as a member of the family, especially after her quasi-friendship / relationship with Cameron in the story goes through.
Your Majesty, come on!
Thank you for having cards that I can't break. Wow, how can I not get combos off? Good lord. I'm only getting one hit off because apparently Riku's second attacks are either the control is locking, or either the control is locking, or something else is going on, because this is... I should have been able to get multiple combos off. I feel like part of the Heartless's body is blocking me. Thank God I get some health, because I need that. Okay. Right, one more health bar to go. Please be a high count Mickey card. There you go. Beautiful. Alright, so no pauses there. And of course Riku goes into dark mode when I don't need him to. There you go. But no, there's no. If you're expecting that there's like some secret romance between the two of them, no. Cynthia and Michael just remain very good friends. And that's more or less just the extent of it. Let's see. Let's look at the next question. Well, I still have a few to go through. Okay.